Alright, Mineral Management Services Code for Regulation, Title 30, Volume 2, Part 206. Federal Oil Valuation, Part 206, 112. When adjustment of the transportation allowance applied with the value of oil production for the Middle East for the New York Merchant Exchange and the Alaska Northern spot prices. Section applies to the New York Merchant Stock Exchange and Alaska Northern spot price for the calculated with the production of the 206-103 specified by the section of the New York Merchant Exchange price to reflect the difference of the value between your leaf of the cushioning Oklahoma and the Jeff the Alaska Northern spot price. To reflect the difference of value preparation of the leaf of the appropriate appropriate minerals management services. Recognized market center of the Alaska Northern spot price of the publication, for example, Long Beach, California, San Francisco, California. Paragraph A section explains how to adjust the value between the leaf of the market center of the paragraph B of the section explains how you adjust the value between your market center of the cushioning and you of the New York Merchant Exchange. Paragraph C of the section explains with the adjustment with the made with the quality differential of the exchange not accounted for through exchange agreement. The paragraph D of this section gives some of the example of the reference in this section. You and include your affiliates applicable to adjust the value between the lease and the market center and then oil was set for the exchange at the arm's length between your lease and the market center or between any intermediate between the locations. You must calculate the lease to the market center, the differential for the applicable location quality of the differential derived from arm's length exchange with agreements applicable with the production during the production month for oil exchange with between your leaf of the market center or between intermediate points between the location owned with the exchange with agreements for the not have the arm's length must have obtained with approval of the mineral management services for location quality of the differential until you obtain with such approval that may use the location quality differential derived through the exchange agreement that applicable to production during production month. If the minerals management service prescribe the differential, you must apply with the minerals management service the differential to all periods which you use the proposed differential. You must pay an additional royalties owned resulting from the minerals management service the differential plus late with the payment interest fees from the original royalty due with the date, or you may report the credit over the overpaid royalty plus the interest of Title 30 U.S. Standard Code 1721H for oil that you transport between the leaf of the market center or between the intermediate points between the locations. You may take an allowance of the cost of the transportation oil between the relevant points determined under the 206.110 or 206.111 and applicable. If you transport exchange arm's length with the both the transport exchange with at least 20% of the not all of the oil produced at the leaf of the market center with determine the adjustment between the leaf and the market with the center for the oil with the not transported exchange with both the transported and exchange with the two or through a market center as follows. 1. Determine the volume weight of the average leaf of the market with the center of the adjustment calculated in the paragraph A1 and A2 of the section oil that you do transport exchange or both transport and exchange from the leaf to a market center. Use volume weighted average of the lease to the market center adjustment with adjustment from the oil that you do not transport with the exchange with both the transport exchange from the lease to the market center. If the transport exchange with both the transport and exchange had less than 20% of the crude oil produced from the lease between the lease of the market center, you must propose the minerals management service adjustment between the lease and the market center of the proportion of the oil you do not transport with the exchange with both the transport exchange with the market center until you obtain that approval. You may use the proposed adjustment mineral management service prescribes the different adjustments to you that must apply with the mineral management services adjustment to all periods which you propose adjustment. You must pay an additional royalties resulting from the mineral management adjustment place late payment to interest for the original royalty due date, and they may report the credit of the overpaid royalties plus with the interest of Title 30 U.S. Standard Code 1721H. You may not both of the transportation allowance you may not both take transportation allowance and use the location quality adjustment with the exchange with the differential with the same oil between the same point. For oil, the value between the New York Merchant Exchange price adjusts the value between the market center and the cushioning Oklahoma is for the one. If you have an arm's length exchange with adjustment between market center with the cushioning under which the exchange with the cushioning is at least 20% of the oil of the own with the market center during the production month, you must use the volume weighted average of the location quality differential from those agreements with adjustment between the market center and the cushioning for all of the oil that produced from the leaf that is during the production of the month of which the market center is used. The two of the paragraph B1 C1 of the section does not apply with you must use the Western Texas Intermediate Differential Pump for the Mineral Management Services approved with the publication market center nearest to loose crude oil most similar with the quality of the production adjustment between the market center and the Cushing. For example, the light sweet crude oil produced for the offshore of Louisiana and the Western Texas and different intermediate differential for the light Louisiana sweet crude oil at St. James, Louisiana. After select with the mineral management service approved with the publication may not select with a different publication may also have once every 2 years of the publication if it is no longer published with the mineral management service revokes their approval of the publication. If you are required to change with the publication, you must begin with a new 2-year period. 3. If the paragraph of the B1 or B2 of the section apply with the may propose the alternative of the differential for the mineral management services until the obtain with such approval, the may either propose the differential for the mineral management service prescribe the differential for the must apply with the mineral management service the differential for all the periods for which the either the proposed differential must pay with the additional royalties over the result of the either the minerals management service the differential plus late with the payment of interest from the original royalty due date and your may pay with the report credit for any overpaid royalties plus interest under Title 30 U.S.A. Code 1721H. C1. If you adjust for the public location and the quality of the differential for the transportation costs on paragraph A or MB of the sections, also with the New York Merchant Exchange Alaska Northern spot price for quality based for the premiums or penalties determined by the pipeline quality bank with the specification intermediate communing points for the market center of those points are downstream of the royalty measurement and the points approved with the mineral management so for the Bureau of Land Management is able to make these adjustments only if the extent of the such for the adjustments were not already included in the location quality differential determined from the arm's length exchange agreement. 2. If the quality of the oil of the adjustment is still different from the quality of the representing the crude oil of the market center of the making of the quality adjustment described in the paragraph A, B, or C1 of the section may make further gravity adjustment even the posted price gravity for the tables of the quality of the bank adjustment to the incorporate provide adjustment for sulfur content. You may make sulfur adjustments based on the quality of the representation crude oil of the market center for up to 5 cents per 1/10 of a cent difference in the sulfur content and lift of the material management for the proof the higher adjustment. For the example, the paragraph illustrates how to apply with the requirement of the section. Example. Assume federal lease for the producer of the crude oil for the lease of the onions RTCS in New Mexico. Further, assume with the lease for the transport of the oil to Roswell, New Mexico. Then exchange with the oil to Midland, Texas. For the assume with the lease for the refinement of the oil received with the exchange with the Midland. Assume with the New York merchant stock exchange price for the $30 a barrel. Adjusted for the roll of the West Texas intermediate differential cushioning to the Midland at minus 10 cents a barrel. That leaser's exchange or agreement between the Rockwell Midland resolve of the location quality differential or 8 cents a barrel. That lease for the actual cost of the transportation oil from the RTCS to Rockwell for 40 cents a barrel. In this example, the royalty value of the oil would be $30 minus 10 cents minus 0.8 cents minus 40 cents or $29.42 to the barrel. For example, the two of the same facts for the example, the paragraph one ship of the lease for the transport of the exchange Midland, 40% of the production leave at the nearest RT for the transport of the remaining 60% of the direct leave at the own refinery in Ohio. The example, the 40% of the production would be valued at $29.42 a barrel. Explained with the previous example, the other than 60% also would be valued at $20.40 a barrel. Example, assume that the federal lease produced crude oil of the other leaf at the near Bakerfield, California. Further, assume the lease of the transport of the oil, line station, the exchange of the oil, and the cushioning for the further exchange with the oil of the refined. Assume that in Alaska Northern spot price of $20 a barrel, leaser's actual cost for the transportation oil for the Bakersfield with the Hine station with the 28 cents per barrel. The leases must request the approval of the mineral mining services for the location and quality mineral management services of the adjustment between Hine Station and Long Beach. For example, the leasers likely would propose the use of the tariff of line 63 for the Hine Station and Long Beach of the adjustment between those points, assuming the adjustment is to be 72% for the included itself for the gravity bank with adjustment with the mineral management services approved. Leasers request in the example of the preliminary because of the location quality adjustment and subject to the mineral management services, the review royalty value of the oil credit is $20 minus 72 cents minus 28 cents. There are $19 in dollars a barrel. The fact that the oil was exchanged with the Cushing does not change the Alaska Northern spot price for the royalty valuation. 206-113 with the mineral management services identifying markets and mineral management services periodically will publish with the Federal Register of the list for the markets and with the minerals management services will monitor market activity necessary to add and modify the list of the market centers will with the published modification. Federal Register of the mineral management services will correspond with the following factor for the consideration specifying market center. 8 points for the mineral management services of the proof of the publication published with the price of the for the index purposes market serve the input for the industry other knowledge in crude oil marketing oil transportation desimplification and other relevant matters. 206-4 and 14. What are my reporting requirements under arm's length with the transportation contract? You and your affiliate may use a separate entry on the forms of MMS at 2014 to notify the mineral management service of the allowance based on the transportation cost that you and your affiliate incur. Mineral management service may require that your affiliate submit arm's length the transportation contract production agreement, the operating agreements, related documents, record keeping the requirements found in Part 207 of this chapter. 206-115. Where are you reporting requirements on the non-arm's length with the transportation agreement that you and your affiliate may issue the separate entry of the form mineral management service 2014 with the notify of the mineral management service of the allowance based on the transportation costs you and your affiliate incur for new transportation facility arrangements for the initial deduction estimate for the liable oil transportation costs applicable the period the most recently available the operation data from the for the transportation system and serve the data available for the underestimates for the based on the data for the similar transportation system second 2016-17. 206-117 will apply with the amendment of the report based on the actual cost of the mineral management for the may require that the affiliate to submit all the data with the calculated with the allowance deduction keeping requirements are found in Part 207 in this chapter. Alright, 206-116, with interest of the improperly approved of the transportation allowance. If you, the affiliate with the deduction for the transportation allowance with the form MMS 2014 exceeds 50% of the value of the oil transfer with the obtaining with the mineral management for the prior approval under Part 206-109, you must pay with the interest for the except for the allowance by taking from the date with the amount with the taking from the date from the EU affiliate the file with the exemption with the file with the mineral management for the approval. If you do not file with the execution request. If the mineral management service does not approve of the request, you may pay with the interest for the excess of the allowance amount taken from the date of the amount that is taken until the date when you pay with the additional royalties owed. If you affiliate with the take with the deduction of the transportation form MMS 2014 properly netting allowance against the oil instead of the reporting allowance and separately with the entry of the mineral management service the may set for the total penalty under Title 30 Part 241. 206-117 the reporting adjustment must I take to for transportation allowances. If you and your affiliates actually transported allowance is less than the amount that you paid claimed on the form military mineral management for the 2014 for each month of the term of the allowance reporting period, you must pay an additional royalty plus interest computed under Title 30 CFR 218-54 for the date, the look of the deduction. Date you took for the deduction to the date with the repay with the difference. If the actual transportation allowance was greater than the amount that you claimed on the form mineral management for the 2014 for any month during the allowance for the reporting period, you are entitled to a credit plus interest for the applicable rules. 206-119, how will the royalty quantity with the quality determine the compute with the royalties based on the quantity with the quality of the oil measured at the point with the settlement approved by the Bureau of Land Management onshore leases of the mineral management for the offshore leases. B, if the value of the oil determined over the subpart is based on the quality and the core quality determined from the quality and quantity and quality of the point with the royalty settlement approved with the Bureau of Land Management onshore leases, or the mineral management for the offshore leases just the value of the difference within quantity or quality. See, an actual loss that you may incur with both for the royalty settlement, the metering measuring point, but not subject to the royalty Bureau of Land Management mineral management services is appropriate determines the loss for the unavoidable. Separate divided in paragraph B with the section royalties due with the 100% of the volume measured with the proof of the point of the royalty settlement with the may not claim the reduction of the measured volume of the actual loss beyond the approved point with the royalty settlement or for the theoretical law of the claim to be taken in the place of the before or after the approved point of the royalty settlement. 206.120. How operating allowances assess allowances determine a mineral management services may either operate allowances for the purpose of computing a payment obligation when specified in the notice of the sale and the lease. The mineral management services will specify the allowance amount or formula in the notice of sale in the lease agreement. Subpart D, federal gas valuation.